All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening from Nigeria. If you can hear me, please let me know. Can anyone hear me, please? Okay. All right. So we can wait for about 3 to 4 minutes. Yes. And if anyone doesn't join, we'll just have to go ahead. All right, everyone. Good evening once again. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining in on today's class. And I want to apologize about yesterday. I didn't want to how will I put it? I didn't want to come in late because I knew I was going to be back from work a bit late. So I just had to reschedule for the weekend. And I'm pretty much sure everyone will be at home at this time. All right. So if any of your colleagues have not joined in yet, please tell them you can check your mail. Yeah, because once they share a material on the classroom, you will get an email notification. about that. So if you cannot access your classroom, please check your mail. You will see it there. All right. So good evening once again. Hello, Joshua, Obina, Isoke, Zainab. Hello, New World, Mr. Aditola. Hi,
Hello, good evening,
Jumoke.
ma'am.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, Zainab. Good evening, Miss Oluwadamilola, Mr. Sunday Ezekiel, Zainab. Okay, I mentioned Zainab, right? Okay. New World Success. Good evening, everyone. So today, like I said, we have a whole lot to cover. Yes, we have a whole lot to cover, and we need to be fast about it. All right. So I'll go ahead to share my screen now, and we will begin. So for now, we're still going to be using the first Excel file I sent us. Yeah. Then when we get into pivot analysis, then we'll use the recent one I sent, which is the e-commerce data set. Okay. All right. So give me just a few seconds. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. Please, if you can see my screen, let me know. Please, if you can see my screen, let me know.
Hi, Mr. Manuela. I can see your screen.
Okay. Hi, Newell.
Yes.
Hello. All right. Okay, Zainab. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let me go to our notes. All right. So last week, right? Yeah, last weekend, we covered a whole lot of functions, a whole lot. So let's just quickly run through that and then we get into what we have for today. All right, so we went through text functions. Yeah, text functions are just a way of manipulating your string data, basically. All right, we have the left function, we have the right, we have the mid. I remember what I said about these three functions. They're just a way of extracting specific number of characters from the content of your cell or group of cells. All right, so we move on to the next. Sorry, Miss Adiola, can you mute yourself, please?
Sorry.
All right, thank you. All right, so after that, we talked about upper, lower, and proper. Upper is converting all your text into uppercase. That is what we call capital letters. All right, and then lowercase, converting your text or your string into small letters. And then proper is converting the first word. No, sorry, converting the first letter of your text into capital and the rest is small letters. All right, so in simple terms, just about converting the first letter of your text into uppercase and then the rest into lowercase. All right. And then we talked about concat, or what I call concatenate. It's a function in Excel that helps you to combine or join two or more text into one. All right. And then we'll talk about len. Len extracts the number of characters within your text string. All right, including spaces, tabs, all that. It also includes. It also qualifies as a character in Excel. And then we'll talk about text join, almost same as concat, just that this time you have to define your delimiter. All right, within the syntax, you have the option to define your delimiter. Right? And then we'll move on to the text. Text is just about converting your text into a specific format, or into the format that you want. And we use our dates in explaining that. Yeah. So we'll move on to the next. We talked about logical functions. Logical functions are just functions that are carried out based on a true or false statement. All right. Yeah. Then we talk about the if. We talk about the and. And is your two conditions must return a true. All right, your two conditions must be correct before it can return a true. If one is not correct, then the rest are assumed not to be correct. All right, but in the case of all, just one needs to be correct, and then it returns a true. All right, and then we talked about if error. If error is if I check your cell and I find an error, what do you want me to put? All right, if there's no error, I return what is contained within that cell. All right, and I'll talk about sum if. Sum if adds up value based off a given criteria. I explained that using our mini sales data we can find on our Excel functions workbook. And then talked about count if. Count if is just counting the number of cells that we have based off a given criteria. All right, and I'll talk about sum ifs, count ifs. These are just like multiple criteria compared to sum if and count if there's just a single criteria. All right. Then we talked about lookup functions. Yeah, lookup functions. First of all, talked about VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP is vertical lookup. In essence, what is that saying? Your data has to be stored in columns. Yeah, that's stored in columns and not rows, because your columns vertical and then your rows they are horizontal. All right, and then talked about, yeah, I skipped one thing, yeah, but you can try it out on your own. There's also HLOOKUP. HLOOKUP in this case is horizontal lookup. So in essence, what is this saying? Your data has to be stored in in rows and not columns. I'll try it out using the data we used for VLOOKUP. What you have to do is transpose, yeah, so that instead of it being stored in columns, it will be stored in rows. I think you can just try it out to see whether it actually works. But I'm assuring you that it is going to work. All right, and then what else I say about VLOOKUP? Your lookup value has to fall on the first column of your table array. All right, it's very, very important. All right, it has to fall on the first column of your table array. Same applies with HLOOKUP. All right, then we talked about XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP it's way more flexible than V and H in the sense that it checks both vertical, horizontal. However it is you store your data, it's good to go. All right, and then we're going to resume right here. Index match. All right, so what's the purpose of index match? It's a combination that allows flexible lookups. In essence, what are they saying? An index returns the value or the content of a cell within a range by specifying the row and column number. So what is it simply saying? If you're looking for the content of a cell, yeah, all you have to do is state the row number and state the column number which it falls in. And then what is match used for? Match returns the position of a value within a range. So the difference between index and match is that match will return the position of your value. All right, I'm going to explain better once I open our data set to work on. So match returns the position. That gives a position 1, 2, 3, all the way. Yeah. But in the case of index, it's returning what is contained within that cell. All right. So index match is used together most times. Most times index match is used together. Your match is what you will use to return your row and column number in index. All right, I'm going to explain more on this. Yeah, but just to like give us a little intro on what index match looks like. Your match gives your index the row and column number to work on. All right. All right. And then, okay, we have our example here. And then we'll move on to date functions. All right. These are mostly used by HR analysts. So if you're going into HR analysis, then this is for you. All right. We have the now function. The now function returns your current date and time. All right. But if you're using the online version, I don't think it will return the exact time. It will return the date, but I don't think it will return the exact time. Yeah. And then move on to today. Today just returns the current date. It doesn't return the time, just today's date. All right. And then we'll move on to the next, move on to year. Year simply extracts the year from a date. All right. All you have to do is give it the date we're talking about, and then it returns the year for you. All right. And then EO month, what I call end of month, it returns the last day of the month. A given number of months before or after a specified date. It's more like the short of end of month, like I just mentioned. Let me go through that again. EO month returns the last day of the month, given a number of months before or after a specified date. All right, so now let's look at the syntax. Syntax is all about what is our start date, in essence, which date am I starting from? And then months means how many months forward, how many months backward am I going? All right, and then we have the example here. Let's take, for example, our start date is 8th of September 2025. And now we are moving 1 month forward. Now, one month forward from 8th of September 2025 is literally 8th of October 2025. But this time I'm looking for the ending of that month. So the ending of October is what? 31st October 2025. All right. Next, we have eDate. eDate returns a date specified. Sorry, I think there's an error in this slide. I'm sorry. So it just returns a date based off a specified number of months before or after a given date. It's a bit like your date add in SQL. So when you guys go into SQL, you guys will see a little bit of this. All right. So what is our syntax like? Our syntax is what? eDate, start dates, yeah, and then month. All right. So we have, for example, 8th September 2025. So in this case, we want to go 3 months forward. If you want to go backward, you have to put -3 in this case. All right, because you're going backward. All right, so let's do it. 8th September, which is our start date, to 8th October, 1 month. 8th October to 8th November to 8th November to 8th December, that's 3. So now the difference between EO month and eDate is that EO month returns the ending of that month. All right, returns the last date of the month based off the given number of months you specify. In this case, specified 1, so it stopped at October, and then it gave us what is the last day of October. It is what, 31st October, right? 2025. But in this case, eDate, it just returns 3 months from, or 3 months backward from our start date. All right. In this case, we can see 8 here. So here, 8. All right. And that's it. And then we have our dated if. I love dated if so much. Like, I love this function so much. So what does it do? It simply returns the difference between 2 dates in years, months, or days. So this is actually good when, let's take, for example, you have a data set. You have the date of birth of, let's say, what am I going to use? Date of birth of, let's say, hospital patients. Yeah, you have that date of birth. Or let's say you work with population commission or something like that. And then you have everybody's date of birth. But then you want to figure out the age. Maybe you guys are planning something for a specific age group, right? So your dated if comes in very, very handy. It helps you calculate the difference between two dates. So now let's move on to the syntax. We have start date. Our start date in this case, the example I gave will be what? Their date of birth, all right? And their end date will be the current date, all right? If you want to check, okay, what will be their age by the ending of the year, all right? In this case, you have to put 31st December 2025 as the end date. And then units means what am I returning? Do you want to return the years? In this case, if you want to find that age, you have to use Y in double quotes. If you want to return the months, can you do that? If you want to return the days, you can do that as well. All right. So now we have this example. Our start date is 1st of January 2020. End date is 8th of September 2025. And then we want to return the year. All right, so let's do this quickly. 1st of January 2020 to 31st December 2020 is what? 1 year. Same with 2020, 2021, 2. 2022, 3. 2024, 4. All right, and that and that. So we're going to talk about this when we get into our data. All right, and then we move on to the next. We have our weekday function. Our weekday function simply returns the day of the week for a given date. All right, where if you want it to be I'll explain this 1 or 2 equal to Sunday or Monday. All right, so it depends. If your week starts from Sunday, then you have to use a 1. If your week starts from Monday, then you have to use it. So this is dependent on where you are, the company you're working for. All right. So let's look at the syntax. Syntax is weekday. What is the serial number, which is a date, and then return type. Yes, this is where this applies. All of this here, this is where it applies. Return type. We have return type 1, return type 2, and I think there are more. Yeah. So in this case, we're using the return type 2. Our date is what? 8th September 2025. So in this case, our week is starting from a Monday. All right. So it's going to return 1 since 8th September 2025 is a Monday, with Monday equal to 1. All right. So we're going to talk about this more. And then we have workday. Workday returns a date that is a given number of working days before or after a start date. We exclude weekends and optional holidays. All right. So what is our syntax? Our syntax is workday start date, which is what date do you want Excel to start from. Then we have days, and then we have holiday. All right. So we're good to dwell on this more. And then we have network days. Network days returns the number of working days between two dates, excluding weekends and optional holidays. All right. So now we have network days, your start date, your end date, and then holidays. This is optional. All right. So let's go right into our Excel workbook and start all the way from index math to explain. Okay, so let's see what I can use to explain this. Okay. All right. So what do we say our index function does? Oh my God, sorry guys, give me just 1 minute, please. 1 minute, quickly, Just 1 minute. Thank you. All right, guys, let's get right into it. So our index function returns what? The value of a cell within a range, all right, by specifying the row and column number. So let's take, for example, let's take, for example, I want to find what is contained here. All right, let's say I want to find what is contained here. In as much as we know that it's a table, or let's take, for example, I want to find what is contained right here. All right. So what do I use? I use my index tab. It's asking me for an array. All right. So in this case, I'm going to select all of this. And most likely lock. And then it's asking me for the row number. So in this case, my array is starting from the beginning, the very beginning. So now, which row is this table here contained? All right, this is row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this case, it is contained in row 5. So I do it 5. And then what is my column number? These are my columns here. So this is column 1 based off my array. All right, this is column 1 and this is column 2, and table is contained in column 2. So I put it 2, then shift close bracket, I hit enter. So it returns what? Table. All right. So let's assume I put a column here. Okay, it didn't affect it. Lucky. Okay. All right. And now let's move on to the next, our match function. All right. So what does our match function do? It returns the position of a value within a range. All right. So match tab. It's asking you for your lookup value. In this case, let's say I'm looking for table right here. And then where is my lookup array? It is not asking for table array. Remember I said lookup array is different from table array in the sense that lookup array is just either the column or the row where you can find your lookup value. So in this case, where is my table contained? It is contained here. All right. And then what's match type? I love to use exact match. Exact match, which is 0. I hit tab and then close that, and then I hit enter. So it's not telling me that our table here is on 5. All right. So let's go through that. Remember, this right here was, oh shit. This right here was our lookup array. So now let's see if for real, our table is in position 5. All right. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So yeah, that is perfect. All right. This is here. All right. So now let's do index match combined. All right. Let's see what that looks like. All right. So let's say, for example, I still want to find what is here. All right. I just want to find what is here. All right. So I use equal to index tab. Sorry. Let me put table right here. All right. So I come back here, index. So now it is asking me for my array. All right. So in this case, what is my array? My array is all of this. All right. And now it's asking me for a row number. So in this case, we do not have a row number, but we can just get that from here. So this is row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so put a 5. Now it's asking me for a column number. So instead of coming here to do this, I'll just come right here. And then where is my table located? My table is located column 1 and then column 2. All right, so then I put it 2. And then I shift close bracket, and then I hit enter. So it's still going to return the same table. All right. So there's a data set I want us, I'm so sorry, I didn't share it with us. Yeah. But there's a data set I want us to use to explain this index match a lot better. Totally skipped my mind. I was meant to share it yesterday, but I did not. All right. So we'll have to do this again. Let me see if I can find. Give me 1 minute, guys. All right, guys. So let me share my screen again. I'm so sorry. I was trying to look for the file of my system. All right, I've been able to generate something that we can use quickly. All right. So let me share my screen again. All right. So let's take, for example, yeah, I was able to do this through using this. All right. So let's take, for example, yeah, we have product P1000 all the way to product P1009. And then we have the units that was sold for each. We have the unit that was sold for each in each month. All right. So now let's take, for example, yeah, we want to find how many units of P1000 was sold in, let's take, for example, July. Yeah. Want to know how many was sold in July. So now we can use our index match to do that. Index match. All right. So first things first, I'm going to start with index. All right. So now it's asking us for our array. In this case, what I want to return is contained where? It's contained right here. All right. Then I lock that. And now it's asking me for a row number. All right. So now in this case, instead of coming here and going with this, all right, which is, we're looking for P1000, right, which is automatically in row 1. What do? I use my match function. All right. So now match, what am I matching against? I'm matching against this here, which is my lookup value. All right. And then where is it contained? It's contained right here. Oh, look that. And then what type of match type am I looking for? I'm looking for an exact match. All right. Then I hit tab and then I close this. So now we're done with the row number. So now we're looking for the column number. All right. Remember, I said we want to find out how many units of P1000 was sold in July. All right. So now to get the column number, all right, in as much as we can easily get it here with 1, 2, simply counting, yeah, we use our match yet again tab. In this case, what are we looking for? We're looking for July. All right, in what lookup array? It is contained right here. All right, and then what match type? I'm looking for a 0. Tab, and then I can close this. So I can close this as well. Then I hit enter. So as you can see, it returned 5. All right. So I'm going to do this again. All right. So what does our index function do? It returns what is contained within a cell when you specify the row number and the column number. And I told you that a match function returns the position of your value, all right, your lookup value. All right. So, and I said that you can use your match in place of row number and column number. In essence, what am I saying? Your match returns the position. So it counts all the way from 1 down to where your lookup value is. If your lookup value is in either row 1 or column 1, it's going to put 1 there. All right. If it's a 2, it's going to put a 2 there. So our index function is feeding off based off our row number and our column number. So now your match is going to return your row number. And your match is also going to return what? Your column number. All right. So instead of having to use your hand to be counting, oh, where is July located? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, just use your match to locate it. All right. Same ways, if you're looking for where does your P1000 fall under, all right, you can simply use your match instead of coming here to count. In as much as here, it's a lot easy because our P1000 is on the first. Is on the first row or the first column. All right. So now I'm going to do this again for us to understand. All right. So let's take another example. Let's take, for example, I want to find out how many units of P1007. Let me bold this. How many units of P1007 was sold in May? All right, let me use a red here and let me use a red here so that we know what we're looking for. So now I want to find out how many units of P1007 was sold in May. All right. So now we're going to use our index match. Why most times you use your index match is in most cases where your data set is large, in the sense that you have multiple columns and you have multiple rows, and you can't possibly start counting. You might possibly make a mistake. All right. So now, first things first, index. What does our index do? It returns what is contained within your cell. All right. Sorry, let me escape this. So in this case, this is what we are looking for. Let me put this on red too. All right, so let me come back here. Index is asking us for our array. This 26 we are looking for, where is it contained? It is contained here. All right, it's contained here. Most times I just like to lock. All right. And now it's asking us for our row number. Ideally, what would we have done? We'd have done what? Come here. No, sorry, come here. This is row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So instead of writing 8, we can use our match. What am I looking for? In this case, I'm looking for P1007. All right. And then it's asking me, where is my lookup array? P1007 is contained where? Right here. All right. I like that. And then I need an exact match. And now next thing it's asking me is what? Column number. All right. So now I'm going to use another match to return that. What am I looking for? In this case, I'm looking for main. All right. And then where is my lookup array? It is right here. All right. And then I lock that. I need an exact match, tab, and then 0. Close that, and then I close this as well. Then hit enter. All right. So now what happened? It gave me what? 24 instead of 26. Who can tell me where our error is coming from? Anybody at all? Anyone at all? Who can tell me why did it return 24 instead of 26?
Okay, good evening, ma'am. So I think it's because it was column C instead of column G.
Sorry, come again.
I think it's because you selected column C instead of column G must be the array under column C instead of the array under column G.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Zainab. Any other person, please? Any other person?
Can you hear me?
Hello, Isa. Yeah, I can hear you.
So I'm not so sure, but let me try. For the column array, I don't know if that's what Zena said. You picked from column C to N. I think if you had done from B to N, it should have given us 26.
You say if I had done what? B
To N.
to
For
N.
your, yeah. But I don't know. I just trying to see if that's.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other person? Any other person? Okay. So now let's apply what Isoke and Zainab just said. All right. Let's see if they're correct. So in this case, you guys said I should have highlighted from what B2 to N2, right? So I'm guessing it's this, yeah, which is our, let's change this to B, right? Okay, so now let's see if that works. All right. It's giving me a 20. It's giving me a 20. All right. So now let's do this again. All right. Let's do this again. All right. Let's do this again. Index returns what? The value of your cell. It returns what is contained within your cell. All right. Now let's look at the syntax clearly. All right. I'm using the first one, not the second one. All right. So now, index, what is the first argument here? The first argument is what? Your array. All right. And our array is what? Right here. All right. Let me look that. Next thing is asking us is what? Is asking us for our row number. All right. And where is between the product ID and the month, which falls under the row? It is what? The month. All right. So now, instead of coming here to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can use my March tab. Now, what am I looking for? I'm looking for May. Where can I find it? I can find it right here. All right. I like that as well. And then I need an exact match. Hit tab, and then I can close that. So now we're done with two parts of the index argument, which is what's our array and then our row number. All right. Comma. Now it's asking us for our column number. All right. Okay. So let's do a match yet again. And then what are we looking for? We're looking for this, comma, it's contained right here. Got this. And then I need this. Close this, then close the index. And then we hit enter. Oh no, it didn't return again. So please, who can tell me what happened? What happened? Anybody? Anybody at all? What happened? Can anybody? Can anybody help us? Anybody? If we turn 8, well, what we're looking for is what? 26.
Would you click on the formula again so that we can see?
Okay, so this is our formula right here. You can see it in my function box right here.
I want to ask, first of all, why did we have to lock the rows and columns?
Oh, it's not actually necessary, all right? You don't really have to lock it, all right? I just did it. So anybody, please. Anyone?
Maybe we should write the code again together. I think it will be better.
Okay. Okay, okay, all right. So we're going to do this again. We're going to do this again. All right. So index. Sorry. All right. So now our array. All right. We're looking for 26, remember. So let's do this. All right. I love to look most times. All right. And now what will be our row number? We're going to use a match. So now between product ID and month, which one falls under a row? Anybody, please?
Product ID.
Month.
Month.
Okay, I can see most people are saying month. Most people are saying month, okay?
I think it's
Victor, you said product, right?
yes, ma'am.
It's product.
Remember, we're doing row number. All right. All right. So let's start with what Breakthrough said. Breakthrough said what? Our product ID falls under the row, right? Okay. So let's come here. Right. Comma. Oh, sorry. In this case, we're going for P1007. All right. There we go with comma. Lookup array, it is right here. All right. Then I want an exact match. I close this. All right. So now we're done with the row number. Now we're going to column number. Match. All right. So now, in this case, what falls under our column?
Sorry, do we have to necessarily do the column number since it is optional?
In this case, yes, you have to.
All right.
Because remember, we are looking for units that were sold in P1007 for the month of May. All right.
All right, go on.
So, all right. So who can help me? What falls under our column? Anybody, please.
Month, ma. The month of May.
Yeah, month.
Okay. Month of May. All right. And then our lookup array is right here. All right. Then put a comma, and then I want an exact match tab. Close my match. Then I put a second parenthesis to close my index function. All right. So breakthrough. Let's see if what you said is correct. Amazing. Okay. Breakthrough. That was nice. All right. Please, if you're confused, let me know so we can go through this again. If you're confused, please.
I'm still confused, ma.
You're still confused. Okay. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do this again. Right? All right. So what is, please open your notes. If you know your notes, please open it. Open your notes. Let's go through what the note says. The note says your index returns the value of a cell based off your specified row or column number. This is a value of a cell. This is a value of a cell. All of this right here are values of cells. All right. So now it's saying based off a row number or a row number and column number. So in this case, you have to specify. All right. Now we say we want to return what? How many units of P1007 was sold in May? Yeah. All right. So now the first thing we do is what? Use our index. All right. We specify the array. And then the next thing I told you can do is instead of using your hand to count, especially in cases where you have a very large data set that has multiple rows and multiple columns. Yeah, you can't start, no, you might make a mistake. So what do? You can use your match. Your match returns the position. Yeah, it returns the position. All right. So in the case of index, our second argument is what? Our row number. After selecting your array, our second argument is what? Our row number. So in this case, we have to look for between product ID and month, because that's what we're trying to match up here, right? Which falls under the row? Which can you count? Oh, this is row 1, row 2, or row 3, row 4, like that. If you chose month, row is like this. So remember what I said, these are your rows and these are your columns. All right. So if you chose month, our month is like this. So in as much as it looks like it's just on row 2, yeah, but then we can't count. It's just fall on what? It's just one row we have here. All right. But in case of columns, we have column 1, 2, 3, all the way down to N right here. But then when we come to product ID, all right, in this case, we're looking for P1007, right? Our P1007, it falls under just what? Column B. Yes, I know. But then we can count the rows. This is row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now in this case, we've already told our index that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In this case, we've already told index that, okay, P1007 is on 8. All right. So it has found that one, 8, Abi, it stores it. And then we'll move on to the next column number. In this case, our month falls under columns actually, because we can count. This is column 1, 2, 3. So let me adjust this a bit. All right. So in this case, our May falls under what column? This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and then this is 5. All right. So our row falls under column 5. All right. So instead of counting, we can just use our match. All right. We just say, please help me locate May. In what column is it located? From this, your lookup array. Remember I said lookup array is different from table array. All right. From this, your lookup array that you specified, help me find where can I see May? Which column number is it located? Match will start doing what? Okay, this is the first column I can identify, second, third, fourth, and then fifth. All right, and then it returned this for us. So now, if you don't want to use your match function, like I said, P1007 is on what, row 8, May is on row what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is on row 5. All right, so we can just do index array. In this case, I'll go for, I have to go for all of this. My row number, in this case, we started from the top here. All right, so we have to do, this is row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So because of this, our row number is extended 9. And then column number, we have to start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Then we close this, and then we hit enter. So it's still going to return the same 26. All right. So whichever way you want to do it, but most times you can't start counting. What if what you're looking for is way further? Imagine we had more rows and more columns here. You can't start doing that. So I'm going to go through this again. Index to return what is contained within a cell. In this case, I'm looking for 26. Where is 26 contained? All right. So now let's say we want to start from here. All right, let's start from there. And then row number. Month does not fall on row. This falls on row. So instead of counting, oh, where is P1007? I can use a match. Match returns the position. It will tell me within this array, which row number does P1007 fall under? All right. Lookup value, in this case, I'm looking for this. All right. Lookup array is this right here. Then I want an exact match tab. So we're done with that. And then move on to what? Column. Lookup, we're looking for this. Within where? Within this. Then I want an exact match tab. Okay. So as you can see, that did not work. Why? Because our lookup array was within our index array. All right. So instead of it returning 26 here, it returned what? 12. All right. So what's the best way to do this? 26 that we're looking for, where can we find it? All right. In this case, it is just right here. There's no point of coming all the way here to do that. You can just simply come right here. This is where your values are. Now it's asking for a row number. Use our match. Now it's asking me, what am I looking for? I'm looking for P1007. Where is it contained? It is contained right here. All right. So if you notice, my lookup array is still within like this, my index array right here. I didn't start from product ID. All right. Then what type of match am I looking for? I'm looking for an exact match, close bracket. And I hit my comma, what is a match again to return May. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for this. In what array? It is right here. All right. What match type? I'm looking for an exact match. Don't give me nothing less than that. Then close, and I close this. And then we hit what? Enter. So this should return what? 26. All right. So let's try another, let's say P1 how many of you were sold in the same May? So in this case, we're looking for 47. All right. So let's do this again. Index 47 that I'm looking for, where is it contained? It's contained right here. All right, come on. So now row number, instead of me coming to count and do all that, I use my match to return that. All right. So what am I looking for? In this case, I'm looking for A1003. Where is it contained? It is contained right here. And I want an exact match. And I close that. Now move on to the next argument, which is what's our column number. I use here to match to return the position of May. All right. What am I looking for? I'm looking for May. Where is it contained? It is contained right here. I want an exact match. Close bracket. Then I close bracket to finish that up. Then I hit enter. So as we can see, it returned 47. You can go on and on and on and on. Let me state this again. Index returns what is contained within a cell based off a specified row and column number. All right. Index is used when your data is very small. You can literally count to know what the column number is or the row number is. All right. But in situations whereby your data is very big and you can't start counting and locating where a particular, let's take for example, particular unit that was sold within a period is, you can use your match to do that. All right. So our match right here returns the row. All right. In this case, it's our product ID that is on the row in the sense that we can count it this way. And then our column number is where our months fall under. All right. Any questions, please? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Anybody, any questions? Okay. All right, since there are no questions, I think we have to move forward so that we can be done. All right, so after our index match, what is the next thing we're going to? We're going into our dates functions. All right, so the first thing that we're going to deal with is our noun. Our noun simply returns what? The current date and the current time. All right. Let me see what I can use here. I use this. Okay, I need this. All right. So our noun function returns what? The current date and current time. In this case, what is today's date? Today's date is what? 20th of September 2025. All right. So in this case, it is 20/09/2025. 09 is the month, 20 is the date. 20/09/2025, and it's actually 5:12 p.m. in Nigeria. All right. So you can try it based off where you are from. all right, or where you are at this moment. You can try that to know if it works. But yes, it should work. Your noun function returns current date and time. All right. In my own case, this is my current date and this is my current time. So as we can see, right now it's 5:13 p.m. in Nigeria. All right, but then this does not change. Just simply come here, hit enter, and you see change. All you have to do is come here, hit enter, and that's adjust. All right. So let's move on to the next. Our next function is our today. Our today returns what? All right, this is now. So today returns what? Today returns just the date. So if we hit enter, what is this? This is what? 2009-2025. All right. Okay. All right. So that is that about the noun function and the today function. Now returns date and time. Today returns just what? The date. All right. So we're moving on to the next. Our next function is our year function. All right. Let's shift this a bit forward. All right. So here I'm going to put our year. All right. So let's say, for example, these are the dates. I extracted it from, where did I extract it from? I think it was, okay, yeah. I extracted it from the aggregate functions, all right. The dates here, all right. So now I want to extract the year within all of these dates. So I simply do year tab, this right here. Then I hit enter. In this case, returned what? 2025. Then I drew this all the way down. All right. So we can see this covers basically 2024 and 2025. All right. So that is that about your year function. And then we also have two other functions. You can extract your month if you want. All right. Month tab. So in this case, it returned what? 03. All right. Then I drew this all the way. So you can see it is extracting just the month number. The month number. All right. Now, I'm moving on to the next. The next is what? Our EO month, or what I call end of month. So our EO month returns the last day of the month based off a specified number of months before or after our start date. All right. So let's take, for example, all of these are our start dates. The dates right here, our start dates. Let me put this. EO month. Contribute. All right. I come here, EO month. Tab. So now what is our start date? I said our start date will be what? This. All right. So let's take, for example, I want to check 3 months from the start date. I put what? 3. Close my bracket and then I hit enter. All right. Let's drill this down. So in this case, why is this coming in as a number? Because this is formatted in what? General. So all I simply have to do is go to what? Control 1. Let me shift this right here. And then I change this to a date. What date are we going to use? Let's use this. So when I hit enter, so this is it right here. So let's start with the first one. Let me format this to All right, so it don't look different. All right, so the first one is what? 12th of March 2025. And I said what? I want to go 3 months forward, but give me the ending, that is the last date of that month. All right, so first things first, our start date is what? 12th of March. Let's go 3 months forward. 12th March to 12th April, that is 1. April to May, that is 2. May to June, that is what? 3. So just counted what? 3 months forward. Yeah. And now it doesn't stop there. I want you to return what? The ending of that month. The ending of the month of what? June in this case, which is what? 30th. All right. Same applies to the rest. All right. So let's try another EO month. All right. So if I come right here, I do EO month. So now, let's say I want to go 3 months backward. All right. All right. Format this. All right. So now in this case, I said I want to go 3 months backward. All right, I want to go 3 months backward. So let's use this again for our example. Our start date is what? 12th of March 2025. So now let's count 3 months backward. 12th of March to the month before is what? April. That is, sorry, February. That is 1 month. February to January 12 is what? 2 months. Then January 12 to December 12 is what? 3 months. It stopped there. And then I said I want the last day of the month. In this case, it is what? 31st December. All right, same applies to every other thing here. All right, so that is that about our end of month. And then let's move on to our end date, which is our e-date. All right, so what does our e-date do? Our e-date returns a date based off a specified number of months before or after a given date. It's a bit like your date app. All right. So in this case, what is my start date? We're going to use this date still as our start date. So now, how many months forward or how many months backward? Let's use the same 3 like we used in end of month. Then we close that. Then we hit enter. All right, I'm going to format that. Control 1. Dates. All right. So now in this case, it is giving me exactly 3 months from this, from the start date. 3 months from 12th of March 2025 is what? 12th of June 2025. So like I mentioned earlier, the difference between EO month and e-date is that EO month gives you the last date of the month, but e-date gives you exactly. All right. In this case, 3 months from 12th of March is exactly what? 12th of June 2025. All right. So let's say we're going backwards. Start date is this. I want you to return 3 months backward. All right. So I'm going to adjust this right now. Control 1. Give me dates. Give me this. And hit. Okay. All right. So as we can see, it is what's going 3 months backward. 3 months backward from 12th of March 2025 is what? 12th of December 2024. All right. Remember, 12th of March 2025, 3 months backward is what? 12th of December 2024. We illustrated that. March to February is 1 month. February to January is 2. So the year has gone out. We're entering into the year before. All right. So January to December of the previous year is going to give me what? 12th of December 2024. All right. So that is that about year, month, and date. All right. So let's move on to the next thing. Our dated if function. Our dated if function. All right. So let's take, for example, all right. So we're going into our dated if function. So what does our dated if function do? Our dated if function checks out the difference between two dates. All right, the difference between two dates. Okay. So now, what are we going to use? I want to find out what's the difference between this date right here and this. Let me put this in red and put this in red as well. So now to find out what's the difference between these two. So we're going to check the difference in year, the difference in month, and then the difference in days. All right. So dated if. So now one thing about the dated if function is that you won't find it. You can see as I'm typing, there's nothing like dated if here, right? It's not, should I use the word that it's not inbuilt in Excel? There was something I read about it, why it's not included in Excel as a built-in function. All right. So all you have to do when you're using your dated if function, you need to sort of like master the syntax. All right. You have to master the syntax so that when you're using it. So in this case, I won't hit tab, I'll open my parentheses right here. All right. So we brought out this. All right. So now, what is our dated if syntax? Our dated if syntax is our start date. What is close this? All right. So now, what is our start date? Start date in this case is this. And then what is our end date? Our end dates, I said we're using this. And now what do we want to check? First, I want to check the difference in years. So like I said, your year is Y, but you have to put it in the double quote. Y. Then I put this, and I close that. Then I hit enter. All right, so this is in a date. Take this back to general. All right. So now, in this case, what are we seeing? We're seeing 0. Why? Because between this and this, it is not a full year. All right. So in essence, what am I saying? If the year is not up to 12 months, then it won't return 1 or 2 or whatever. It will return 0 because it is not up to a month. It's not up to a year, sorry. All right. So in this case, since it's returning 0, what can we possibly do? You know you can't use your year, which is your Y. What can we possibly do? We use our month. All right. Enter. So in this case, it's giving me what, 3 months. And that was typically what we did in our end of month right here. We said, give me 3 months from this and give me 3 months backward from this. All right. So in this case, it gave me what, 3. Let me format this all to general. All right. So now if I drill this all the way, everything gave me 3 months. Why? Because between this and this is actually 3 months. If you look at our function right here, we said 3 months from this. And this, we're looking for what the difference between this and this in months. All right, so automatically everything is meant to return 3. Everything is meant to return 3. All right. So let's take, for example, I want to find out the difference in days. All right, I use what? D. And I hit enter. So if I drew line, in this case, it will be different. Why? Because as we all know, some months have 30, some months have 31. And not just that, some data from 12, the dates are different. So in this case, the days will be different. All right. So now that is that about that. So let's go back to the first example I explained on dated if function. I said you can use the dated if function to find out what the age of a person. All right. So now let's take, for example, let's come here. I have let's say someone was born 12th of May 1991. I hit enter. Okay, this is already formatted as date. All right, let me bold this. And now let's take, for example, okay, I want to find out what is this person's current age as of today. All right, what is your current age as of today? All right, so there are 2 ways you can do this. There are 2 ways you can go about this. Number 1, you can use the dated if, parentheses. Now, what is our syntax for dated if? First thing is what is our start date? Our start date in this case would be their date of birth. All right. And then what is our end date? Remember I said we want to find the person's age today, as of today. All right. So in this case, today, I can use the today function. What would the today function do for me? It will return current date. Or if you don't want that, you can see our today right here. You can either click on this depending on what you want. All right. And then comma, I want to find the difference in what years, because remember age is measured in years. All right. Call Y, close this. And then I close that off. And then I hit. So in this case, like that is telling me that, okay, as of today, this person is actually 34 years old. Right, this person is actually 34 years old. All right, so any questions, please? Anyone, any questions, any question?
Hello, good evening.
Oh, Jumake, good evening.
Yes, so for the today, you only put there's nothing in the inside the bracket. What if we click on the date on that today's date? Is it going to give us the same answer?
Okay, perfect. So when it comes to the now and today functions, yeah, they literally do not have a syntax. There are no arguments within them. Why? Because it is, first of all, by returning today's date. All right, so you can't specify or use this as no. Today is today. All right, your today cannot be yesterday. It cannot be 2 days from now. Your today is your today. So Excel does not need you to specify anything at all. Just type what today open and close brackets, hit enter. That is all. It will use the dates on your system and return that. All right. Same goes with the now. I want to know what is it right now, right now, right now. What is the date? What is the time right now? All right. So now and today does not have it does not have a syntax. No, it does not have a syntax. It uses what your time and date is on your system to return a value. All right. So now when we come to this dated if function, yeah. Remember, what is our syntax for dated if? Start date. In this case, the start date for me was this right here, because I'm looking for what this person's current age. What is the person's age as of today? All right. So in this case, my start date would be his date of birth, which is what, 12th of May, 1991. All right. Now, what is the next argument? Our next argument is what? End date. Remember I said I want to find the person's age as of today. So today, what is the person's age? All right. So like I said, if you don't want to put the today, like you don't start typing the today function, you can decide to calculate your today separately. That is, derive your today's date separately, like this right here. So let's take, for example, I don't start typing today. I already have a today's date right here. Use this right here. All right. And then we're calculating what is age. So age is measured in what? Years. So that's why I use my Y right here. And then I hit enter. So it's going to give me what? The same 34. So you can decide, do you want to put the today, want to nest it inside what's dated if, or you just want to get your today separately in another cell and just reference that. So that is dependent on what you're looking for. But if you want to make your work faster, just put your today function inside here. All right, so hit that, and that is that. All right, Jumoke, do you understand what we just did? Jumoke? All right. Okay. So when Jumoke responds, I'll get back to that. All right. So next thing we have is what? Week. All right. So now what does our note say? Our note says weekday returns the day of the week for a given date. All right. And then our return type is dependent on who you're working for and where you're working for. It's dependent on that. All right. So let's go into that weekday tab. All right. So what is contained in our syntax? Serial number in this case is our date. In this case, I want to use this right here. All right. So now it's asking me return type. Like I mentioned earlier, there are so many return types. Return type 1 is what? Number 1 is Sunday. That is, if your week starts from a Sunday, you use 1. All right. If your week starts from a Monday, you use 2. All right. Then you can go through any of this, but most times I use this first one or second one. All right. It is dependent. All right. It is dependent on what you're looking for. So in this case, we're going to use this and this. Let's see what happens. All right. So I'm going to use what? 1. All right. And then I close this right here. Then I hit enter. So now it is telling me that from Sunday to Saturday, yeah, 12th of March 2025 right here is the fourth day of the week. All right. So you can go through your calendar. All right, you can go through your calendar. Let's go all the way back to March 12th. All right. So March 12th falls on a Wednesday. It falls on a Wednesday. So remember we said what? Our week is starting from what? Sunday. So Sunday is 1. All right. Monday will be what? 2. Tuesday is 3. Wednesday is 4. And what? 12th of March 2025 falls on a Wednesday. So in this case, it's telling me that Wednesday was the fourth day of the week. Guys, let me tell you one easy way to understand Excel function. Break it down. Break it down. Most times it's actually simple. It's English that they're speaking. All right, it's English. In this case, now they're asking us for what? Weekday. If you don't understand weekday, turn it the way you understand. Day of the week. All right. You don't necessarily have to be so, oh, I don't want to make. Keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. All right. Break it down to the way you know you would understand it. All right. I'm not saying it applies everywhere, but most of these functions, you just have to break it down to the way you understand. All right. So that's that. So is there any for me to drill this down? But let me just drill this down. All right. So 31st of, this is July, right? Yeah, 31st of July 2025 falls on the 5th day of the week. All right. So now let's do another weekday. Serial. This. So now the second thing I want us to try is what? Our week starting from what? Monday. Most times, most organizations, they use Monday as the start of the week for them. All right, most organizations use Monday as the start of the week for them. All right, and then I use my arrow to locate to, or you can type into tab, shift, close, enter. So in this case, it's telling me that what? 12th of March is 2025. Remember, I said 12th of March falls when? It falls on a Wednesday. Right. So Monday is the start of the week, so Monday is assigned 1. Tuesday is assigned 2. Wednesday is assigned what? All right. So let's just do this down. All right. So now let's come down to our normal dates right here. Let's take, for example, I want to find out now, this 20th of September 2025, what day of the week does it fall on? As we all know, today is what? Saturday. All right. So come right here, weekday, enter serial number, our date, and then return type. Let's use box. I'm going to use Sunday as 1 through 7 as Saturday. Tab, close bracket, and then I hit enter. All right. So in this case, it's telling me that, 20th of September 2025 is day 7 of the week. All right. Remember, I said our week is starting from what? Sunday. So Sunday is 1, Monday is 2, Monday is 2, Tuesday is 3, Wednesday is 4, Thursday is 5, Friday is 6, Saturday is what? 7. All right. So let's try it the other way around. I want to use Monday as the start of the week for me. Then I hit enter. So in this case, it returned a 6 because obviously that's what it's going to return. We're no longer starting from Sunday at the start of the week. Monday is the start of the week. All right. So that is that about weekday. All right. So now let's move on to the next thing we have. We have what? we have our work day. Workday. So what do you say our workday do? Our workday returns a date based off a given number of working days before or after a start date. All right. So let's say, for example, so I don't want us to use this date right here. So now equal to work day. Telling me what start dates, which is what this. All right. So now I want to check 4 days from 12th of March 2025. What is that? I'm using what 4 days. So I'm going 4 days forward. Then holiday, I don't need that. All right. Close bracket. And I hit enter. Let me convert this to a day. All right. So what is this telling me? It's showing me what 18th of March 2025. All right. So now 12th of March, which is our start date, 12th of March 2025 is what? A Wednesday. And it falls within a work day. Remember, our work day spans from what? Monday to Friday. In as much as I know, yes, some people work on weekends, Saturday and Sunday. So we don't include that here. So Excel is asking you, where am I starting from? You're starting from 12th of March 25. Okay, I've gotten that. Next thing, how many days do you want me to return? In this case, I wanted to go 4 days forward. All right. So 4 days forward is what? Thursday, Friday. All right, that is what 13th and 14th. All right. 15th and 16th, they are weekends. All right. And then it skips that, moves on to the next 17 and 18. So we've picked what? Thursday and Friday from the previous week. All right, that is already 2 days from 12th of March 2025. All right. So it has counted what? 2, but that's not where we told you to stop. We told you to stop at what? 4 days. All right. Weekend skipped, moves on to the next week, which is what? Monday and Tuesday, which is a work day. All right. So 17 and there 18th. So that's why we can say what 18th of March 2025. So let me drill this down. And then as we can see, let's check the other one. 31st of July 2025. All right. So that first is actually a work day. It's still a work day, which is what? Thursday. All right. So now I told it to what? Give me 4 days forward. 4 days forward. So first of the next one, which is what? August. Yeah, is a work day. So that is 1. So we're left to what? 3 work days. Second and third weekends, scratch that. Then we're left to what? 3 working days, right? Indirectly, we're entering the next week already. So we have what? Monday, Tuesday stops at what? Wednesday, which is what? 4th, 5th, and 6th. Stops at 6th of August and returns that date. As you can see here, 6th of August 2025. All right. So the difference between a weekday and a work day, let me take that again. Difference between a weekday and a work day is that weekday includes weekend. Weekend is inclusive. All right. But work day, weekend is not inclusive. All right. Like I said, it excludes weekends and optional holidays. All right. And weekday returns what day of the week? I'm not telling you to return Wednesday. No. What day of the week? Is it day number 1, day number 2, 3, whatever? All right. But what day will return the date, the actual date from the start date based off your specified number of days. In this case, we're going 4 days forward. And take note, work day skips your start date. If you were listening quite carefully, you notice that it skipped 12/03/2025. It didn't start from there. It started from the day right after and started to count. And then once it gets to the specified number of days, in this case 4, once it gets to that date that falls on work day 4, it picks it right up and returns that as your value. All right, so that is that. Okay, so any questions, please? Quickly. We must enter tables, charts, and pivot tables today. So please, any questions? Quickly, please. Any questions?
Yes, ma, I have a question. Sorry, network cut me off the other time.
Okay.
So instead of having, is that way we can have it like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, instead of like first, second, third, fourth? Is that way Excel can like give us the weeks in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like that?
Okay. I think for you to do that in this case, you have to wrap your weekday inside your text. Yeah, I feel that's the way. But I've not tried that before. But I know surely there should be a way to change this. So let's see if the weekday would work with this. Let's see if the text can work with this. I don't quite know, but let's see. So in this case, let me format this to DD. Let's see if this works. All right. Let's just see if it works. Okay. So it worked. Sorry, who asked me that question? I wasn't quite looking at who was asking the question.
Wow. So
Jumoke, do you understand this now? Remember
yes.
in last class what I said about text function? Where do we even use that text function? Was it here or where? I can't quite remember. Okay, I think we deleted that. Okay, so let me just go back a bit. Our text function converts the content of our cell into a specified format. All right. So first of all, what was the first thing we did? We stated our value. Our value in this case is what? Our weekday. All right. So let me do this differently. All right. Let me take this out so that this doesn't look messy. Okay. Let me take this out, right? So we know that this column is for what? Weekday. Let me insert something here. Let's call it day of the week. Okay, let me expand this. So now, Jumoke, that question you asked was actually very, very brilliant. Thank you so much. All right. So now let's say, for example, most people won't understand what this means. All right, especially in situations where we have different number types. Remember, we have number type 1, 2, when number type 1 is what? Sunday as first day of the week, spanning through Saturday as the last day. We have Monday as start of the week, spanning through what? Sunday as the last day of the week. So now most people won't really know, what is 4? What do you mean by 4? They can't start going through their calendar and checking what those four mean. All right. Except those that, okay, you guys have a standard, format in the sense that your company's week starts from either Monday or whatever it is. I don't really know. But most times, most organizations start from what? Monday. All right. So in this case, now most people might not really understand this. So to make it a lot clearer for them, we use our text. Our text to convert this to a day. All right. Click on this. Then turn this in what's DD. Let's see, this works. So yeah. So what does this simply do? First of all, it asks for a value. All right. Our value was replaced with what? Weekday. All right. So in essence, what has it done? It has first of all solved out this A2. All right. What day of the week? In this case, we're starting from what? Sunday as the first day. So it has already counted what? 12th of March 2025 to be what? The fourth day of the week. So now it knows that it's day 4, but then I don't want to see 4. I don't see numbers. I want to see the actual day. Is it a Monday? Is it a Tuesday? Is it a Saturday? Whatever it is. So I format that to what? DDDD. So instead of giving me 4, 5, or whatever, give me in the actual day. So I come right here and I drew this down. So now it's telling me that what? 31st of July 2025 is a Thursday. 21st of October 2024 is a Monday, like that. All right. So like I said, exact function is dependent on what you're looking for. It's dependent on what you're looking for. All right. So that's that about weekday and workday. So the next thing we're moving on to is network days. What does our note say? It returns the number of working days between 2 days. Returns what? The number of working days, not the number of weekdays, or number of working days. Remember, work days different from weekdays. All right. Weekdays, weekend is inclusive. Work day, weekend is not. All right. So let me see. We have an actions box right here. Zainab, you said index match function is a wizard. Well, I agree. Well, I agree. You guys are actually very funny. Well, I won't lie. When I learned index match, it was crazy for me too. I had to use YouTube to learn it over and over and over till I understood. All right. But one beautiful thing I love about index matches, you can use it to build a tracker. All right. So I'm going to teach. I already told you guys a part of it already indirectly, but I'm going to teach you in a more organized way. All right, how to build a tracker using index match and using list. All right, lists are touching data validation. So just calm down, all right? We're not expecting you to understand it at once. Keep practicing until you get it right. All right, so yeah, no doubt, index match can be crazy sometimes. All right. So now let's move on to the next. Oh God, this thing is already full. Let me see if I can hide some columns right here. All right. Okay. So in the case of network days, I want us to do something. Yeah. Let me freeze this. Can I find my freeze page? All right, so let me freeze this. All right. So let's take, for example, we're looking for network dates. Enter. All right. So now, what does network days do? It simply returns what? The number of working days between two dates, excluding weekends and optional holidays. Network days. All right. So what is our syntax? Let's do this. Network days. I can already see it. Tab. What is our start date? Our start date is the oldest date. Always note that your start date is your oldest date. So in this case, this. All right. So now I want to check between the dates here and our current date, which is what? Today. Yeah. What is the difference in days? All right. So we have our today right here. So I can just use this, then close this, and then I hit. So let me convert this to a day. Sorry, general. Right. So now it is telling me between 12th of March 2025 to 20th of September 2025, we've had 138 working days. All right, 138 working days. So now I know calculating this would be a whole lot. All right, and we can't possibly start doing that now. All right. So let me bring a date that's a bit closer to this. All right. So let me use let's take, for example, I have let's take, for example, I have let's use 15th of September 2025. All right. So now I want to find out between 15th of September 2025 and 20th of September 2025, how many working days is between them? So I come here, equal to network days, tab. What is my start date? My start date is my oldest date, in this case, 15th of September. Then, what is my end date? My end date is what's my latest date, which is what's actually my today. Then I close this and I hit enter. So now it's telling me that there are 5 working days between these 2 dates. You can use your calendar to confirm. 15th of September is what? A Monday. 20th is what? A Saturday. All right. So now, in the case of network days, we'll be starting from the actual start date. All right. If it is a work day, if it's not a work day, to start from the date that has a work day. All right. So 15th is a work day, it's a Monday. All right. So 15th, 1, 16, 2, 17, 3, 18, 4, 19, 5. Saturday is not a work day. All right. So that's why I returned what? 5 working days from the start date. All right. This is looking a bit too messy. All right. So any questions, anybody? Any questions? Any questions, anybody? Any questions, any questions? Any questions? We have about like 1 hour, all right? We have just 1 hour. So please, any questions? Any questions? Quickly, any questions? All right, I have questions. All right, let me look for who can answer this for me. All right. Dalton Creativity, are you here? Mr. Dalton, are you here with us? Okay, so let me make this a lot easier. Please, if you know you're using your system to join this meeting, please let me know. Just raise up your hand, all right? Anyone at all, anyone. Mr. Folabi, are you here with us?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, are you using your system?
Yes, but I'm not using the file, like I'm not practicing along with you. I'm just watching the video directly. But my Excel is opened.
Obina, are you?
What did you say?
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, hello Obina, good evening.
Good evening.
Oh, are you joining us with your system? Like, are you using your system for this class?
No, I'm using a phone. I generally watch the video and then after the class, I just go back and then rewatch before practicing. That way, I'm not distracted trying to do something while you're teaching.
All right, I can just open something, but I don't have the same data. Hope that's fine.
Okay. Let's see what you have.
Am I sharing screen?
Okay, let me stop sharing. All right, you can share your screen now.
Okay. Let's just. Is the screen visible?
Yes, I can see your screen. Okay. Do you have any sheet that contains a date?
Dates.
Do you have any sheet that contains a date?
No, not sure I have any. I'm not sure I have any one that has dates.
Okay, no problem. Open a new worksheet for me. Open a fresh worksheet for me.
Yeah, this is a new one. Are you there?
Okay, open a new worksheet. Okay, all right, that's perfect.
This is the new one.
All right, so I want you to, okay, yeah. Okay, so Mr. Falabi, first thing I want you to do for me is, what is today's date? Can you derive that for me? Can you derive today's date for me?
Okay. So that's today's date.
Okay, perfect. All right. Yeah, today, thank you for that. All right, so can I get the dates and time? I need to see the time as well. How are we going to do that? Yetunde, just 1 minute, please. We'll attend to you. Just 1 minute. Okay, perfect. Nice. Time is actually 6:07. All right, that is nice. So now I want you to check here. In one cell, type in 11th of September 2025 in one cell, like another cell.
I should what?
Type in 11th of September 2025. That is 11/09/2025.
I've typed it.
Perfect. All right. So now, between 11th of September and your today, which is what 20th of September 2025, I want to know how many working days are between them. How many?
How many working days?
Yes, how many working days are between them?
Working, no. Work day. The start day should be 11, right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Then the days, any working days, the day has to be 7. I'm not sure. I was not following through.
Okay.
I'm not sure about to get about the day. Okay, I'm coming. Let me just. I'm not sure how to get about the day.
Okay.
Can you see what I'm doing?
Oh, yes, yes, I can. I can see.
Yes, I was saying that I'm not sure about what the day would be.
Oh, you're not
Okay,
sure.
between that, right? Between
Yeah.
the 11th and okay. Mm,
Okay.
This is the start date.
Okay. Okay.
Great.
Okay.
7th. Am I right?
Okay. So it's anyone. We have what 7 working days. Please, oh, can you open up your calendar? Let's confirm if what you did is correct. Let's just confirm. Just to confirm.
What did,
So can you explain to us why is it 7 working days? Why is it not 6? Why is it not 5? You can use your calendar. You can open up your calendar to explain.
okay, I want to check what day is 11th of September. Let me just check calendar.
Okay.
Calendar. Sorry, 1 second, please.
Oh no, it's fine.
Calendar. Okay, 11th of September is on a Thursday, and if we count from Thursday and Friday are working days, so that's 2 days, and if we count from Monday to 28th, we also have another 5 days in between, so that makes it 7 days. So how it works is actually from that 11 to 28th, we have 10 days. So what happened is that we have Saturday, Sunday, and another Saturday. So those 3 days are weekends, though Friday is also a weekend, but then we know that Saturday, Sunday are not work days. So if we remove those 3
Okay.
days from the 10 days, it gives 7.
Okay. Okay. That was nice. That was amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. You actually got it right. You got it right. And your explanation was amazing. All right. So you can stop sharing now. Obina. Okay, Obina said he's not. This is someone raised their hand. I think that was it Yetunde, right? If I'm sure. Yetunde, are you with us? Yetunde, are you with us? Okay. Breakthrough. Are you using your system for this class?
No, Richard.
Okay, you're not. Let me see. Mr. Richard, are you using your system? Okay. Timilei, are you using your system for this class? Okay. So I don't think.
I'm actually using my system. If you can hear me.
Okay, I can hear you now. What do you say?
Yeah. I said I'm not using my system.
Oh, you're not using your system right now. Okay. I don't want to ask the same people that always ask questions during class. All right. But I think right now I have to. It's okay. Are you using your system for this class? Mrs. Okay, are you with me? Okay, so, okay. Are you using, okay, can you share with us? Can you share your screen with us so that you can quickly do something? Oh, okay, I understand perfectly. Okay, so I don't think I'll ask any other question. Let's just move on to the next theme. I want us to do a lot here. All right, so let me share my screen now. Okay, so I'm showing my screen. So guys, we are done with dates functions. All right, if you want me, I can share this particular sheet that we've used, this particular Excel, I can share it so that you can go back and look at how we did this as you're watching the video, sorry, the recording, and you can use this as well. All right, so we're actually done with this workbook right here. I won't be using this anymore. All right, so let me go on to this. So please, if you're using your system, you can open your e-commerce data set. All right, we're going to use this. All right, so now the next thing we're going into is what? Tables, charts, and pivot tables. Let me go right into our notes. Okay, so we're done with index match, we're done with all our dates functions. All right, so now tables, charts, and pivot tables. All right, so in this session, we're going to talk about data visualization. That's where our charts come in, summarization tools, pivot tables. Then you also learn how to structure data with tables, summarize with pivot tables, and create clear and professional charts. All right. So by the time we are done with this, all right, this data set we're going to be using to explain tables, charts, and pivot tables. Let me show you guys an example of what I want us to achieve, even if we can't achieve all. Okay, I don't think that is opened yet. Let me quickly open that. Okay. All right. Okay. So by the end of this session, this is what I'm hoping we can achieve. All right, this is what I'm hoping we can achieve. Something that looks like this. This is what I'm hoping. Let me sum this in a bit. I just want to get it clearly. All right. So this is what I'm hoping we can achieve. We're going to learn how to use a timeline. We're going to learn how to use slices and all that and all that. All right. So Okay, so that was loading up. All right. All right. So this is what I'm hoping we can achieve. I know we can't finish this today. I know we can't finish this, but something like this is what I'm hoping we can achieve. All right. So let me go back to this. Right. So how do you create and format Excel tables? First of all, why do we use Excel tables? We use them because they make data more structured and easier to manage. Why? Everything is in one. All right. When you use a table, you don't have to worry about turning on your filter or turning it off. All right. Once you create a table, automatically your filter icon comes up. All right. And then what is another use of tables? Formulas expand automatically when a new row or column is added. All right. It enables the use of structured references. All right. So now, steps to create a table. First of all, select the data range. Go to your inserts. I think you can find it on the sorry, you can find it on the left. Yes, you can find it on the left end of your insert tab. I think it's before your pivot table icon. All right. And then confirm if your table has headers. And that's that. Formatting options, table design tabs. So when you convert a data into a table, automatically your table design tab pops up automatically. It pops up. Same goes for pivot tables. Once you create a pivot table, Excel brings out your pivot table design, something like that. All right. So what can you do with your design tab? You can apply different styles. All right. You can change your color from blue to whatever, or you can give it a custom color if you don't find what you're looking for. Then you can add total rows, give it a sum, average, a count, whatever. You can insert calculated columns. All right. So next thing, pivot tables and pivot charts. Like I mentioned earlier, pivot tables are used for summarizing your data. All right. So instead of you having to pick it one by one, pivot table will help you to summarize it based off your column, your values. If you want a filter, you can use a filter as well. All right. So as you can see, we have our row, column, value, filter, and like that. All right. So let's go right into this one we're using. Okay. So now let me explain this data set. All right. This is an e-commerce data set. All right. Picture any e-commerce organization in your head. Picture it. All right. So from our sales platform, we can literally get all of this. Let's take, for example, our sales platform has options to fill in all of this. All right. So first of all, we have our transaction ID, TNX0001. I think we have 200 transactions. Yes, because we have 200 right here. So we have 200 transactions. That is noted. Then we have what? Our transaction dates. What dates was this transaction carried out? Right here. The amount that was spent by the customer, right here. Customer's first name, customer's last name, customer's occupation, we have the customer's gender, customer's age, transaction location means where did you carry out the transaction from? All right. And then we have item purchased. And then we have our marital status here, married or single. All right. So first things first that we're going to do is what? Create a table. All right. So if we look at this, well, can anyone tell me, what do you feel does not seem right with this? Remember, when you get to data set for the first time, you don't go right into analyzing. You don't do that. You have to first of all understand your data, know what you're looking for. That way, it will help you to arrange your data in the way it should look like before you start analyzing. All right. So anybody, please, quickly, what do you think is not right here? Or what do you think we need to adjust? All right.
Hi, Manuela.
Hello, Richard.
Okay. For me, I'm looking at the customer occupation and saying that it is a limiter of comma. You might not actually get a full. I think maybe specific occupations of customers since they are having two categories. Like some people are having two categories of occupation together.
Okay. All right, that's nice. So let's take, for example, in this case, surveyor, hydrographic. All right. And here too, we have a surveyor, hydrographic. Let's see if there's any other person that has like a comma within its occupation. Okay. So we have engineer, but in this case, it's a civil engineer within consulting. All right, that's nice. We also have this here. All right. And then we also have this
Hi,
here too.
Manuela.
Yes, Mr. Richard.
I also noticed that we're having a number of duplicate data.
A number of what?
Duplicate.
A number of duplicates. Oh, okay. So why do you say that?
I saw, if we look at civil and that engineering civil consulting, when you check the name, that is handy small, it is occurring second time again with same name.
Sorry, come again. I didn't get you.
Okay, I say that when you look at the customer's name, I think that's the
Okay.
first name and last name, and you check it in correlation with the customer's occupation. So let's take an instance when you check engineering can be small. I saw it briefly when you are scrolling down. Let's look at engineering. Let's look at it once again. Can be small engineering consulting, customer's occupation. Can you please scroll down?
Okay.
So yes, so we saw the name is Candy Small. The second time it is occurring. Wow, I think it's an oversight from my end. Meanwhile, you were scrolling, I was thinking Candy Small also occurred the second time. Thanks for clarification.
Okay, you're saying engineer, civil consultant appears
Yes,
here too.
I was not looking at the name. I was thinking it was same with the first one.
Okay.
Did you get it? I've been
Okay.
clarified. It's not duplicate.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you, Mr. Richard, for spotting that. So let me go through this based off what you just said. All right. You said engineer civil appeared twice, but then the name is what made them different. All right. So let's take, for example, Candace Moore. Let's take, for example, Candace Moore here carried out a transaction more than once. All right. She can still maintain what? She can still be an engineer. Maybe she has not changed her job. All right. Since the last transaction she carried out, maybe she has not changed the job. It's still the same. All right. So are we not going to say, oh, Candice Moore appeared here, engineer, civil consulting, and it appeared, let's say something like here. Are we going to flag that as a duplicate? No, you won't quickly go into that. All right. because these two, the name and then, sorry, give me 1 minute. Let me freeze this so that we can see. Go to view, freeze, and then freeze. Okay. So as I was saying, can the small here carried out transaction on what? 18th of August, 2024. Right. So you will say, okay, I saw Candace Small again, same occupation. I'll now flag that as a duplicate. No, we have to check other things. The date has to be the same. Transaction amount has to be the same. These three here, first name, last name remains the same, yeah? Gender will most likely remain the same. Age, what if as of the next time she bought something from the platform, yeah, she has added a new age. She's no longer 49. All right, we have to check that too. What if the location for her transaction, she changed it? Maybe she traveled, she went to Egypt, or she went to SA, whatever. All right, this might not be the same. So you have to check that. Is that the same? What she bought, is it the same standing fan? Secondly, when she transacted here, she was single. What if she's not married the next time she gets something from the platform? All right, so those are the things we have to check. All right, but we can quickly do that. Let's check if there are duplicates in this. All right, so what do? I come here, then I go to data. So under this, when you come to your data tools right here, above your data validation, we see what here, remove duplicates. So what does this do? It checks the rows, goes through every row. Is there a row that is exactly the same? Same ID, same dates, same amount, same first name, same last name, same everything. All right, so let's click right here. So now this dialog was saying, well, delete duplicate values, select one or more columns that contain duplicates. If you feel your data contains duplicates, or you just want to be sure. In this case, I'm selecting all my columns, all right? And then my data has headers, yes, of course it has. Then I hit, okay. So it's telling me that what, no duplicate values found. So this data does not contain a duplicate. So that is one. Secondly, we also have to be careful. Why do I say that? That's one thing I love about is it Google Sheets? Yes, Google Sheet gives you an option to spot, that is, spot duplicates. All right, it just shows you where your duplicates are. All right, that way you get to see for real, if it's actually duplicates. Because remember, one person can transact more than once within a day. Let's take this first person here. April Robinson transacted on what, 16th of September 2024. All right. Let's take, for example, what did she buy? She bought headphones. All right. The quantity is not specified. Let's say, oh, she bought one headphone, but then a sister or her brother or anybody needed more, or what she ordered, the quantity she ordered was not what she was meant to order. She can go back to the same platform. It's going to be with the same name, same gender, same age, same location, same marital status right here. All right. The date will most likely be the same. All right. The only thing that will make it different is when there is a time. Let's say there's a time column. Okay, we'll say definitely she can't transact at the same time. All right, there always be either 1 minute or 2 minutes or a difference in time. But in this case, there is no what? There is no time. All right. So most times it might appear like it's a duplicate, but in actual sense, it's not a duplicate. So most times I prefer to spot the duplicate. Show me where the duplicate is. Then I can ask sales team or whoever, please confirm that this is not a duplicate before I go ahead to delete. All right. So that is that. Let me see. Breakthrough, you said transaction amounts. All right. Zainab, you said the names of the headers have no space between them. Okay. In the case of not having space between them, that is not really a problem. All right. It's not really a problem. All right. You can decide this transaction amount. You want to put transaction space amount. You can do that. All right. But it doesn't really matter. All right. All right. Mr. Richard, you can find the Excel sheet on the classroom. I shared it, I think, yesterday or day before yesterday. All right. So Breakthrough said amount. Okay, that is actually a good one. So in this case, our transaction amount is not formatted. So let's format that. Let's use the numbers. I want to use 1,000 separator, 2 decimal places, and then I hit okay. So that is that about that. So this has been formatted. Thank you, Breakthrough. Any other observation, please? Do you observe anything that we need to adjust before we go ahead? All right. So the transaction dates.
Hello. Hello. Sorry,
Yes.
Miss Ella, I don't know. Why did we use number for the transaction amounts? Why not currency or something?
Okay, why not currency? Okay, thank you for that. So in this case, yeah, we have what? Different locations. And different locations means what? Different currency. Nigeria transacts in what? We transact in Naira. Ghana transacts in, I think, cedis, if I'm correct, Ghana cedis. Kenya, I don't really know their currency, I don't. Same with Morocco, India. Germany transacts in euros. United States transacts in what? Dollars. All right. So you cannot come here and insert a currency per se. The only way you can do that is when you start filtering for each location and then start applying currency on the rules that apply. All right. So in this case, we can't apply one currency. No, because people transact in different currency based on the location they are at. Is that okay? Except in situation whereby the e-commerce platform allows only one currency. Let's say, okay, the platform allows only dollars, then you can go ahead to convert this to a dollar currency, right? Or if they transact only in Naira, then you can go ahead to do this. All right, but in this case, let's say they're transacting from different locations based off their currency. That's why I left this like this without a. All right. Okay, so that is that. So let me just make this quick. Transaction ID, I'll format it, I'll leave it as general. Why? Text and numbers. You can decide to leave this as a general. All right. Our dates, you can't leave it as a general. you have to format this to date. So let's use this. Then hit OK. So in this case, I've converted this to day, month, and year. Transaction amount, breakthrough, observe that. Customer first name, customer last name, that is okay. Then customer occupation. Like Richard said, if you want, you can decide to split this. All right. This person is a surveyor, but in which area? Hydrographic. All right. But the problem is, if I decide to split this into columns, most will not have an area in which they work in. All right. For example, this is a social worker. They didn't state what sort of social work do you do. We don't know that. This one is a facilities manager. What industry? Nothing to support it. All right. So most times, if you create like an extra column for this, then most will not return anything because there's nothing after that. All right. But then it's dependent on what you are looking for. All right. Gender stays a general, you can convert it to text. Age is a number. So you have to convert this to number, but in this time, 0. Nobody's above 1,000 years, so we won't be needing that. Okay, so this has been converted. Transaction location, item purchase, marital status, they all stay the same. All right, so we formatted this. There is something that I am looking for someone to say. Anybody? There is something that I am looking at right now that I'm hoping someone would say. Please, can you guys spot it? Can anyone spot it, please? Anyone? There's something that I'm looking at right now that needs to be adjusted for the data to make more sense. Anyone? Okay,
I
it's
think
no, you
it's me.
said.
Sorry. Good evening. I'm looking
Hello,
at
good evening.
the first name and last name to be
Okay.
together.
Okay, should be together. Is that what you said?
Yes, please.
Okay, nice. That is what I was looking for someone to say. So, can you tell us why should we put it together? Is it really necessary? Why do you think we should put it together?
Of course, everybody has a first name and everybody has a last name. So I don't think they should be in separate columns. They should be together.
Okay.
Also, I have a
Okay.
I think some people might have the same first name but different last name. So bringing the two names together is going to create a uniqueness in the name. Because some people might be Thomas Nelson, another person might also be bearing Thomas, maybe Watson or something like that. But the name, bringing the name together can create a uniqueness to them.
Nice. Thank you, Toyosi. Thank you, Tino. That's exactly what I was looking for. What you guys said is absolutely correct. All right. So let me go through what you just said. They said we should bring together. Mr. Afolabi, please, can you read for us? Thank you.
Sorry.
All right. So they said we should bring together customer first name and customer last name. Why? Many people can have the same first name. Same goes for last name. I am bearing what? Emmanuel Awobo. Yeah. Someone out there can be bearing what? Nelson Wobo. All right. So when we bring the two together, We're making things a lot easier for us because we know which transaction belongs to who. In as much as I know there are cases where two people can bear the same first name and the same last name. That is very possible. But then we know that, yes, it will be very few that do. All right. But now if you bring together the first name and last name, it creates that uniqueness in name. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. So which function should we use to do this, please? What can we use to bring both names together? Anybody, quickly, please.
We can use concatenate and or test join.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, guys. So let's use concat. All right. So our text one is this, and then we're going to use space to differentiate the two names. So I'm going to double quote space, double quote. Where's my text 3? This right here. I close this, I hit enter. So here we have April Robinson. All right, let's use text join for those that might have forgotten. We're defining our delimiter. What is our delimiter in this case? Our space. I've defined that. Ignore empty. Yes. Text 1, this, text 2, this. Then I close this. I hit enter. So whichever it is you use is going to work. All right. So now we have our customer's full name. Customer's full name. Okay. As you can see, we have our customer's full names. All right. So let me mention this now. After you must have done this, must have brought the two names together. Don't go ahead to start deleting first name and last name. If not, this will return an error. Why? Because the two columns that it is feeding off, or the two cells that it is feeding off, you've deleted it already. So there's nothing for it to work on. All right. So what do you do in this case? We copy all of this, and then we paste right here. You can go to paste special. All right. Paste values. And then what? Click on. Okay. So as we can see, everything has returned towards the plain text. All right. So now we can go ahead to delete this if you want. All right. So now, let me create a duplicate of this. I forgot that. Let me create a duplicate of this. Remember, I think in our last class, I mentioned that most times it's good to duplicate your data in case if you make an error in the first one, you have something to fall back to. So before we did this or formatted anything, we should have created a copy. All right, but that is fine. I'll call this raw data in as much as we've adjusted a few things. All right, so now we can go ahead to delete this. Delete. So now what we're working with is what? Transaction ID, transaction date, amount, full name, that and that. All right. So now how do you create a table? First thing you do is what? Select everything within your worksheet or select what you want to convert into a table. So in this case, I'm going to use what? Control A. What does Control A do? It highlights all the value, all the content of your sheet. All right. So now I go to Insert. Okay. So if you come to your Insert tab, after Pivot Recommended Tables, you see your table icon right there. So now, here is showing me what's a shortcut. If you don't want to come to insert, you can use what? Control T. But let's just use this right here. All right. So as you can see, it's already selected everything for us. We can see this moving lines here. So now if you want to change, you can come here and change that. So now my table has headers, of course. My headers is what? These things right here. My column names. All right. And then I hit what? Okay. So you can see what just happened. Let me go all the way to the top. It has formatted this as a table. And what did I say? When you format into a table, it automatically brings up the sort and filter. So you don't have to go ahead to doing Ctrl+Shift+L. No. You don't have to do that anymore. And then there was something else I mentioned. All right. Can
Hello.
come right here. Yes, please.
Sorry, Miss Ella, please, can you redo that changing it to table, please? I'm sorry. It looked like magic, just flash.
Okay. Okay. So let's do this again. What would I do? Let's see. First of all, to clear my formats. All right. So if you want to take out your table, what do you simply do? Come to home, come here, I clear format, and that goes up. But then every other formatting I must have done has gone out. So in this case, this went out. So now I have to do this again. And I have to do this again. All right. In this case, I want a number. I need this, and then age, same. And changes to number. Nobody's above 1,000 years, and nobody has an approximated age.
Sorry, please, ma. I have a
Yes,
question.
please. Yeah.
Sorry, please, ma. For the transaction amount, why did we convert the amount to number? Why can't we use decimal? Like, since the number are in decimal format, so why do we choose number?
Okay, why do we choose number? So I don't know if you're paying close attention here. Before I formatted this to number, there was no thousand separator. It was just, if you can look into my formula bar here, you can see it's just what 1858.25. But then I don't want it to be looking like that. All right, because this translates to what 1,858.25. So that is why I had to convert
Okay,
this.
thank you. Thank you, ma.
All right. So if you notice on that, when I cleared out the table, our filter still stayed. So let me take that out. Okay. Let's see. All right. So I've taken that out. Remember to turn on or turn off your filter and sort is what's Ctrl+Shift+L. So let's do this again. Ctrl+A to select everything. Let's do this manually. All right. So now Ctrl+A to select everything. Go to insert. Okay, this is showing me that I can't do a table anymore. All right. Okay, So I don't really know why this is not coming on. Yeah, so I think I have to abandon this. I have to abandon this. Let me use this, create a duplicate of this. Let me call this raw data. So we're going to use this. I want to delete this too. Delete. All right. So now I'm going to go through this one more time. All right, because I don't want the same thing that just happened now to happen again. All right. So Control A, select everything. Go to your Insert tab. Go to Table, or you can just click on Control T. All right. So now it's asking me, where is the data for your table? I already highlighted that. My table has headers. Yes, of course. All right. And then I hit what? Okay. So what do we see? It formatted this into this blue, and then every column has its own filter. All right. So now, like I mentioned earlier when we were going through the notes, once you convert into a table, your table design comes up. All right, your table design comes up. All right, so now what are the various things we can do? All right, so let's start from this. You can change your table name. If you don't want this to be table 2, you can change this to whatever it is you want. All right, if you want to remove duplicate, you can remove, in as much as we checked that already. So that's what you can do. All right, if you want to convert to range, you want to convert to a normal range. Yes, so let's see what this will do. All right, so now what did it do? It converted it to a range for me. All right, so now this reminded me of what I just did earlier. Instead of going to home right here, clear format, just go to your table design. Yeah, go to your table design and just what converts back to a range. So as you can see, everything has gone back to a normal range. My filter icon is no longer there. Nothing is there. Let me just do this. Let me just do this again. All right. Table as headers, yes. Okay, all right. So if you want to go back into a table, you have to do it all over again. So if you want to convert to range, that's what you do. All right. If you want to insert a slicer, you can do that here. All right. So let's come to table style option. All right. So we have different table style options. As you can see, if you can look closely, header row is turned on. All right. Let's toggle this off. What do we see? Our header row, which is what our column headers, went off. Let me bring that right on. If you want to see a total row, it turns on or off a total row of the table. Let's turn this on. All right. So, okay. So as we can see right here, this is our total row. If you want to put that, you can go ahead to put that. But most times I don't use it. All right, so I turn that off. Back to our table design. Let me go right back up. Banded rows. If you don't want a banded row, you can turn this off. If you want it, you can turn it on. And then first column, let's turn this on, let's see. All right, so as you can see, when we turned on our first column, it formatted this. It's no longer black font. It's now white font color. All right. So let's say, for example, this is where your unique column is. You can decide to format that. All right. So in this case, turn it off. Last column, if you want to turn that on, let's see what that does. Change this, as you can see. All right. Banded columns, turn that on, whatever it is you want to do. And then filter button, we don't want a filter button. This is where you go to. So as you can see, when I turn that off, it took away the filter. All right. But let's leave that on. All right. So this and many more is what you can do with a table. All right. This and many more is what you can do with a table. So when we come to table styles here, you can decide to change the color. If you don't like this blue you're seeing here, you can change this to okay, what's going on? Okay. Okay. Hi guys, so sorry, my network tripped as usual. So let me just connect right back and then we'll continue. Okay. All right. So I'm guessing everyone can see my screen now. All right. So I don't know why this is not changing when I click. I don't know. Okay, that one worked. Okay, that one worked. Okay. All right. So I'll look into why this was not changing when I click. I'll look into it and maybe get back to us tomorrow when we have our class. All right. So that is that about tables. All right. That's basically what you can use a table to do. Let me go through that again. When you convert a range into a table, your table design automatically pops up. So when you come all the way from the left, your table name, you can decide to change it, all right, for easy reference. And then when we come right here, we have convert to range. If you want to convert it right back into a range, you can do that, all right? And then what else do we do? Went to our table style options right here, all right? And then you come right here, if you want to insert a slicer, you can do that as well. All right. And then if you don't want to see this blue, you want it to have a different color, you can come right here and do that. All right. Whatever it is you want. If you want a new table style, create that. That's if you want to create yours, you can do that right here. All right. So that is that about tables. All right. If you want to turn on or turn off first column, that is, you want it to have a different font color, you can do that. If you want to get a total row, you can do that. If you want to refresh, you can come here, refresh all. All right. If you want to turn on or turn off your filter button, you can do that right here as well. All right. So that's that about tables. Let me name this as table. All right. So our time is fast spent, and I don't want to go into pivot tables. All right. So we're going to look at pivot tables tomorrow. We're going to look at pivot tables tomorrow. We're going to look at charts tomorrow as well. All right. So please, any questions at this point? Any questions, please? Anyone, any questions? All right. So I'm guessing everyone has filled in the attendance for today, right? So please, if you have not, you can reach out to Mr. James for that. All right. Oh, breakthrough, you mentioned flash fill. Oh, okay. Okay, well, that is applicable too. Yeah, thank you for that. That is applicable as well. So the thing about Excel functions is that it's dependent on what you want. If you want to make your work faster, flash fill is good. All right. But if you're not quite familiar with flash fill, just use the functions that you're already familiar with. All right. All right. So I think that is that for today's class. Any question, please? Come to stop the recording. Any questions, please? Okay.
Please,
Yes, I can hear you.
attendance. So last week, all my classes, I could not mark attendance. Today again, I'm having issue, the same issue. I don't know. And I reported to Mr. James. I don't think he has been able to sort it. Last week, I was unable to mark attendance. I clicked this thing, the attendance. It was not appearing. It was not clicking.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. I am so sorry about that. So please, I feel he's working on it. All right. So please, right after this class, reach out to him.
Okay, ma. Okay, ma.